ここに立つこの剣士、なんと今大会一度も剣を抜いていない。ベールに覆われた真の実力が現れるのか。東方杯の剣客、レイメ。
果たし合いといきましょう。で
Hey everyone, Silverox is here, and this week's, also, on top of Sacred Hearts coming this week, we're also getting a new arena. We're also getting the Reime Cup, who is the champion warrior from the East, from Octopath Traveler 0, joining COTC today, as well as part of the Sacred Hearts update. So Reime is a very interesting free unit to be gotten, so let's find out what she does. So her role overview is that she is a warrior, her role is a sword DPS, and her special abilities is that she can passively debuff sword res every time she lands a crit, so that can be useful. Preferred weapons are a brilliant sword for damage cap. Fortune swords if unable to reach cap is fine. I say that because newer players might be trying to get her and actually use her as a DPS, which is actually very useful, depending on how they structure her cup structure. Preferred accessories, damage cap if you can spare it, P attack boosting otherwise. Passive skills, basic. Physical attacks, besides base attack, can exploit dark. Boost levels change to 2, 4, 6 using 1, 3, and 5 BP respectively. Her first passive is that when hitting a weak point with a magic attack, she grants herself Ultimate Sword for 2 turns as a follow-up action. Ultimate Sword is a self 30% swords damage up. Remember, this is a passive damage up in order to, it's a passive way to get, that's how she gets herself sword damage up passively, is just via a temporary buff that can run out. Her 3-star passive is she grants herself 20% crit up, plus passive crit limit increased to 50%. If self has ultimate sword, add 30% of crit to P attack. Her 6-star skill evolution is 20 to 30% crit up, becomes 30% crit up instead, and the passive crit limit increases to 60% instead of 50%. Her TP passive is that when landing a crit, inflict 15% sword res down for 2 turns. The TP level 2 enhancement becomes 20% sword res down for 3 turns instead. The TP2 priority is mid, can be very useful if you lack other ways to get passive sword res down and need that extra 5%. The extra turn is not as impactful because she can crit multiple times with one multi-hit, and with how easy it is to land crits nowadays, she could easily stack up that passive sword res down really quickly if you don't want to use TP2 mats on her. For her skills, her base kit, she has a 2-hit single target sword, then a 1-hit single target sword that inflicts 15% physical defense down for 2 turns, a 2-hit single target dark that implants 2 stacks of dark weakness, a priority AoE implant of 3 to 8 stacks of dark weakness, a 5-hit random target sword, then a 5-hit random target dark. Her 4-star skill is a priority single target critical scope for 1 to 6 turns, which makes all hits on that enemy become critical hits, so it's basically dead aim in reverse. Then she has a 3-hit AoE dark that implants 2 stacks of dark weakness, and at max boost, double cast this skill. Then she has a 5-hit random target sword that at max boost, she will double cast this skill. Then her TP skill is a 1-hit single target sword with plus 300,000 damage cap, which at max boost, she will double cast this skill. The TP level 2 enhancement it becomes plus 500,000 damage cap instead. The TP2 priority for this is actually low, because you want to focus on her multi-hits instead, as she doesn't get damage cap multi, so while this sounds very good to newer players and stuff, trust me, this is not all that, and I would not use materials on that unless she is your main DPS, and I'll cover that when I get to the TP2 bonus. The EX skill for her EX skill plus ultimate technique, her EX skill has 1 total use, and it's unlocked when she has ultimate sword. It is a 7-hit AoE sword that at max boost she will double cast, so this becomes a 14-hit sword. Her ultimate technique is a support class ultimate, and it's called Pursuit of the Ultimate Sword, and it's a self 100% potency up for 3 turns, plus 100,000 damage cap up, plus ultimate sword buff for 3 turns. At ultimate 10, the damage cap scales to 150,000. At ultimate 20, the damage cap scales to 200,000. At ultimate 20, it has 40% starting charge, 40% charge per BP, 80% with AU, 4 BP to full charge, 2 BP with AU. The 200% gauge activation is back surge, which means this ult can be used from the back row before her paired ally acts. The AU priority is not irrelevant because she is an arena unit and all her stones can be attained for free, so you should just get it regardless. Onto for her Awakenings plus A4 plus TP2 bonus. A1 to A3, all her stones are free, get them anyway. A4 accessory is called the Cord of the Far Shore, and it gives 60 P attack, 50 magic attack, and 80 crit. And its effects is that it grants self 30% crit up, and at start of battle, restore 2 BP. The A4 tier rating for this is a D tier A4, the stats are mid, and the self buffs are bad. Crit rate does not matter when dead aim is easy to get now, and starting battle with 5 BP is niche for units with extended boost levels, but then you sacrifice having more damage cap instead of finding BP regen options. Fortunately, her A4 is 100% free to get, so there's no issues with grabbing it just in case you do need it, or if you're like brand new account and don't have all the damage cap accessories yet. TP2 bonus from having both active and passive TP2s. Reime gains 50,000 damage cap up. So the TP2 priority for this is actually high. I know despite the other ones not being as good. Is because if you're actively using her as a DPS, she is hungry for more damage cap. So despite being free, however, her TP2 just still requires the same limited mats, so choose wisely still. So like if you're like brand new at the game and you're trying to use her as her like active DPS, that's one thing. But like for established accounts and stuff, you may not have the TP2 mats anytime soon to bother using them on a free unit. So unless you're going to actively use her, I wouldn't bother. But if you are actively using her, then that extra damage cap does matter. For her optimal skill loadout plus battle flow, skill 1, the 5-hit random target sword that can be double casted at max boost. Skill 2, the priority critical scope, which is basically dead aim in reverse. Skill 3, the 3-hit AoE dark that implants 2 stacks of dark weakness and double casted at max boost. If you max boost this, it would immediately use up those 2 stacks of dark weakness from the first use of it, which would then immediately trigger her passive, giving herself ultimate sword, so that is an option as well. Skill 4, the priority implant 3 to 8 stacks of dark weakness, just in case you do need to stack up dark weakness for whatever reason. That is a valid option to do so. Battle flow. Reime is really simple to set up and use. She wants to charge her ultimate and use that the turn before break. Then on break, use her EX skill for a 14-hit sword into her 10-hit sword for maximum damage potential. I would suggest using critical scope for charging her ultimate potentially if you have the BP to be able to charge, and that way guarantee crits. Her main weakness is needing help to restore her BP for her second turn of break to do her 10-hit. So you will need a unit capable of restoring her BP by 5 to use her at max efficiency. So for unit synergy, Reime can work well on any sword-based team, filling in for DPS slots for any main sword DPS you may be lacking, or just being a good sword DPS because she has the second highest sword hit count in the game right now. Dark Knight is the top sword DPS still. ODO, an extremely potent sword DPS thanks to his global buffs. Pardis, lower hit count, but still brain dead easy to use for big damage. Aviette is in every team now. Shauna, Undying, and 3 BP regen gets Reime close to the 5 BP she needs. Sazantos is a really good sword support now and can give allies 5 BP regen from his TP skill / ultimate, so that's also an option if you're actively using Reime. Signa is a really solid support for sword and does have an active BP regen skill. Moruso EX, rainbow buffs for weakness exploit plus damage cap ultimate and other great buff options. And then just as a note, various units can grant BP regen or BP gift can work to help Reime reach her 5 BP needed. For example, if Particio gets ult 20, that becomes a back surgical ult that grants 5 BP, for example. And there's lots of other options as well. In the future, Midia EX will make BP really easy to get as well. And also, if you have 2 separate types of BP regen, will work, like Signa's active BP regen, and then in the future, Rock Bouquet's ultimate BP regen stacked with Shauna's 3 BP regen makes 5. Because as a reminder, if you have a different type of buff, then you're going to get the BP from it. If you use 2 different types of active BP regen, then the durations are just going to stack. So you just got to keep that as a reminder. You would need a passive, active, and ultimate regen, for example, as separate buffs to give more than 1 BP per turn. Just get to remember, because if you are going to use Reime effectively, she does need a way to get 5 BP back immediately after turn 1 of break, if she is your main DPS. So for overall rating, because there's no pull stats or anything like that because she's a free unit, Reime is the latest and most recent arena champion, returning the arena back to Orsterra after so long. As with all arena units, all her stones are free to obtain, so you should max her out to use her. As a free unit, however, she is easily the best free unit they have made so far. Being able to give herself 200,000 damage cap and do a 14-hit sword as a free unit is extremely good. That's the second highest hit count for any sword user currently, and as long as you can compensate for her extreme BP hunger to use for both turns of break, she is actually a really solid unit, especially for newer players wanting a potent sword DPS option. So overall rating as a DPS, she's honestly an S tier DPS. Support A, because that passive sword res down is actually better than you think it could be. Not available heal, not available tank. Overall tier A+. I know that's technically I put that as a lower rating than as Cecil on release, but Cecil's kind of fallen off now because you don't need taking as much. So I would still say that Reime is currently the best free unit they've ever released. She is just very good if you're it's mainly really good for newer players that are lacking other potent DPS as option as well. So just keep that in mind. Like 100% free, 100% to get Awakenings for her, so there's no reason not to use her if you're lacking a sword DPS. And yeah, it's just another good arena, so there's some free rubies to gain as well from it. Anyway, that's my overview for Reime, because just because there's not a gacha pull for it doesn't mean she doesn't deserve the same unit review and respect that I give to all units. So thanks to everyone for watching, and those that support the channel, and just by liking, subscribing means the world to me. All your support means the world. Because as with my disability and my condition, I cannot work normal jobs, so I am trying to make YouTube work full-time to be able to cover medical bills and my living expenses. So anyone that does support the channel means the world. Thanks so much. If you'd like to directly support the channel more, you can consider joining as a channel member, link by clicking the join button below, as that will give you access to immediate perks that help support that you get for helping to support the channel, including one-on-one direct COT battle help support. If that's something that interests you, consider joining. There's also trial memberships available, so do give that a try if you're interested. Otherwise, just liking and subscribing means the world, and I appreciate the support regardless of how it's given. Thanks for everyone for watching. If there's anything else you'd like to see, please comment that below, and I will try to get to it when I'm able and feeling better. Otherwise, thanks for everyone for watching, and as I continue to ramble on, I will see you guys all in the next video. Love you all. See ya.